Welcome to Stoic Golden Tribe, where enduring wisdom meets the strength of presence and where we uncover the truths that modern society refuses to teach men. Today we dive deep into a subject that shakes the very foundation of male-female dynamics. When a man has options, her games stop. It's no secret that many men find themselves trapped in emotional chess games, ignored one moment, manipulated the next. She tests you, she pulls away, she comes back. But there's one thing that changes the game entirely: options. When a man becomes valuable, mentally, physically, spiritually, socially, when he walks with purpose and radiates confidence, he stops being disposable. He becomes unpredictable, and suddenly, her games stop. Because a woman cannot manipulate a man who is not afraid to lose her. This video isn't about arrogance. It's about awareness. It's about elevating your self-worth, embracing abundance, and becoming the type of man who lives by choice, not by chance. Throughout this video, you'll uncover why emotional games thrive on male scarcity, the psychological shift that occurs when you become the chooser, the ancient wisdom behind masculine power and options, and how to practically level up your life so no one can play you ever again. We're not here to bash women. We're here to build strong men. Men who respect themselves enough to walk away when respect is not given. So before we begin, if you're tired of being played, if you're ready to break free from emotional manipulation and rise above the games, like this video, subscribe to Stoic Golden Tribe and turn on the bell so you never miss a drop of truth. Drop a comment below if you've ever been tested or manipulated. Your experience could help another brother rise. Share this with a man who needs to hear it today. Let's begin. Chapter 1. The Illusion of Scarcity. Why Men Get Played. Let's start with a hard truth. Most of the emotional games women play only work on men who believe they have no better option. When a man thinks she's his only shot at love, intimacy, or connection, he becomes predictable, and predictable men are easy to control. It's not that women are evil, but human nature, male or female, responds to value. And when you act like you have no other choice, people will treat you like you don't. Think about this. He who is dependent becomes expendable. Ancient Stoic principle. When you place all your emotional energy into one person before they've earned it, you create a power imbalance. Suddenly her mood controls your peace, her texts dictate your confidence, her silence becomes your storm. Scarcity breeds obsession, and women know this, even if it's not conscious. Many test to see how much control they really have over you. She may ignore your messages just to see how you react. She may flirt with others in front of you just to provoke jealousy. She may pretend to be busy, not because she is, but to see if you'll chase harder. Why? Because if she knows you have no other options, you'll tolerate anything. Let me give you a real-life example. A man named Marcus once told me about a girl he was madly into. She played the hot and cold game for months. Sometimes she was sweet, affectionate, and interested. Other times, distant, dismissive, and unavailable. And every time she pulled away, Marcus panicked. He'd double text, beg, apologize, even when he did nothing wrong. Until one day, a friend told him, "Bro, the reason she's playing games is because she knows she's the only one." That hit him hard, so Marcus took a step back. He started hitting the gym again. He stopped over-investing. He made new connections. He flirted, respectfully, with other women. And most importantly, he began focusing on himself. Guess what happened? She started texting first. She wanted to talk about where things were going. The same woman who couldn't make time for him was now asking if he was seeing anyone else, because the moment he had options, her games stopped. Here's the lesson. When you become the man who doesn't need her attention to feel validated, you become a man she respects. And respect is the foundation of real desire. So how do you break free from the illusion of scarcity? You build yourself. You develop your mind, your finances, your purpose. You surround yourself with people who value you. You stop seeking approval and start setting standards. You become the man she's afraid to lose, because once she knows you're not afraid to walk away, she has no choice but to meet you at your level, or be replaced by someone who will. Never be a slave to anyone's affection. Be the master of your own presence. Daily Stoic wisdom. What's one moment in your life where you realized you were tolerating emotional games? Share it in the comments. Your story can empower another man. Chapter 2. From chaser to chooser, reclaiming the power of masculine abundance. There's a subtle but life-changing shift that happens the moment a man stops chasing and starts choosing. Let me ask you this: are you living to impress others? Or are you living in alignment with your own value? Because the truth is, women can feel the difference. They know when you're operating from a place of desperation and when you're grounded in abundance. They can sense when your attention is available to anyone and when it's something that has to be earned. The man who stands still and chooses him is always more powerful than the man who runs and begs. Stoic principle of self-governance. In today's world, a man who is calm, composed, and unbothered, who doesn't flinch when tested, is rare. Why? Because most men haven't done the inner work to see themselves as the prize. You see, masculine abundance isn't just about having multiple women, it's about having multiple sources of peace, multiple passions, multiple streams of income, multiple people in your life who respect you. It's about knowing with full conviction that you are the chooser. This mindset shift destroys manipulation at the root. Let's take a deeper look. For example, two types of men in the same situation. Imagine two men dating the same type of woman. She suddenly starts replying late. She takes hours to respond to a simple message. She cancels a date last minute. Man number one panics. He overthinks. He writes long messages asking if she's mad. He offers to reschedule at her convenience. He tries to win her back. Man number two pauses, reads the situation, sees the red flag, and without needing to argue, explains that he respects consistency and won't tolerate flakiness. Then he walks away, not in anger, but in clarity. Which man do you think she respects more? Which man triggers her curiosity? Which man now holds the power? Abundance is not having more, it is needing less. Ancient Taoist wisdom. Man number two has options, not just romantic options, but spiritual ones, mental ones, emotional ones. He doesn't chase chaos, he protects his peace, and when a woman realizes that your presence is a gift and not a guarantee, her games begin to fade. You know how to reclaim your power as the chooser? If you're tired of being the man who gets toyed with, it's time to become the man who chooses his peace over attention. Here's how. 1. Audit your circle. Are you surrounding yourself with people who uplift you, or people who drain you and lower your standards? 2. Master delay of gratification. Stop being available the moment someone shows you interest. Value your time. Let others earn access to you. 3. Fall in love with your purpose. Whether it's your craft, your work, your health, or your calling, a man in purpose doesn't beg for connection. He becomes a magnet for it. 4. Live with detachment, not disinterest. Care, but don't cling. Be open to love, but not desperate for it. Stay rooted in your self-worth, not someone else's approval. The moment you begin choosing what aligns with your peace, your vision, and your standards, you'll realize that most people's emotional games can't survive in the presence of a grounded man, because women don't test men who've already passed the test of knowing their worth. He who knows himself is never lost, even when others walk away. Daily Stoic wisdom. Tell me in the comments, have you ever made the shift from being the chaser to the chooser? What changed in your life after that? Chapter 3. The fear of replacement. Why her games stop when you can walk away. Here's something society doesn't often say out loud. Women don't respect men who stay no matter how they're treated. A man who can't walk away is a man who can't be respected. And when respect dies, the games begin. Now let's be crystal clear. Well, this isn't about playing tit for tat. This is about understanding human psychology. Because once a woman knows you'll stay through disrespect, inconsistency, and emotional manipulation, she begins to test how far she can push. What you tolerate, you teach. Stoic law of boundaries. But here's where it all flips. The moment she senses that you are replaceable to no one, and everyone is replaceable to you if they violate your standards, her behavior shifts. Suddenly her communication improves, her attention becomes sharper, her loyalty becomes visible. Because the fear of losing a man with options is real. Let's take Jordan, a man in his early 30s. He used to fall hard for women quickly. He was generous with his time, attention, and emotions. But every time he thought things were going well, the woman would either pull back or begin acting out of character. One woman he dated, Olivia, started showing signs of emotional distance 2 months in. She'd take hours to respond, flirt openly with other men, and even joke about how other guys wanted her. The old Jordan would have tried harder, but not this time. This time, he had done the work. He had healed. He had built himself back up from heartbreak. He had options. So instead of chasing, he calmly said, "If you're looking for attention, I won't compete. I'm not here to be one of your options, and I'm here because I know my worth." And then he went silent. What happened next? She reached out every day. She apologized. She wanted to talk. She asked if he was still interested. Jordan didn't ghost her. He simply redirected his energy to women who didn't play games. Women who were ready, consistent, and clear. The lesson? Sometimes the only thing that commands respect is absence. Let your absence teach what your presence never could. Ancient Roman proverb. Why walking away is a power move, not an ego trip. A man who can walk away is not heartless. He's simply aware. Aware that staying in a place where you're disrespected does more damage than leaving does. When you walk away, you're not just protecting your pride, you're protecting your peace, your future, and your value. This is why men with options don't get emotionally blackmailed. They don't stay when loyalty becomes conditional. They don't argue to be chosen because they already choose themselves. And women, consciously or not, understand this. When she realizes you're not afraid to leave, when she sees that you have the strength to detach from chaos, when she understands that she is not your only chance at connection, the game ends. Because deep down, every woman knows the rarest type of man is the one who can offer love but doesn't need to. Power is not in possession. It is in the ability to let go without losing yourself. Daily Stoic wisdom. Let's hear from you. What's one moment in your life where walking away taught someone how to treat you better? Drop it in the comments. Chapter 4. Become the man she can't play, because you're playing a bigger game. At some point, every man must ask himself this: am I here to win her games or to win at life? Because the man who plays her games loses himself. But the man who's playing for legacy, for mastery, purpose, and self-respect becomes immune to her tricks. You see, when a man is focused on a mission greater than attention, affection, or approval, he naturally develops emotional immunity. He doesn't flinch at silence. He doesn't get triggered by delays or mixed signals. He doesn't lose sleep wondering, what does she mean by that text? Why? Because he's too busy becoming the man the world respects, not just the man she notices. Do not waste your time arguing with clowns when your kingdom needs a king. Modern Stoic principle: the man she can't play is the man who has mastered himself. Let's talk about the rarest kind of power: emotional control. When you can control your reaction, when you can say no without guilt, when you can walk away without drama, when you can replace attachment with direction, you become unshakable. And that's the man no one can play. Not because you're cold, but because you're centered. Ancient samurai had a word for this: Fudoshin, the immovable mind, a warrior's ability to remain calm, clear, and decisive in the midst of chaos. You don't argue with disrespect, you don't chase breadcrumbs, you don't lower your standards just to feel loved. Instead, you sit with your power. You demand clarity through your silence. You inspire respect, not through fear, but through self-command. That's when people stop playing games, not just women, but everyone around you, because nothing is more terrifying to manipulators than a man who cannot be manipulated. Let's look at another example, a man named Elijah. Elijah was once heartbroken, devastated by a relationship where he gave everything. He lost his focus, his health, even his business. But one day he woke up and said, "I won't let this moment define me. I'm not just a man who got hurt, I'm a man with work to do." So he rebuilt himself. He started journaling. He committed to his fitness. He launched the business he had always delayed. He read every night. He served others. He healed. Soon enough, women noticed, but he wasn't seeking validation. He was too busy building his kingdom. And when his ex tried to come back, she said something that struck deep. "You don't even feel the same anymore. I can't figure you out." That's the moment he knew. He had become unplayable, not because he became cruel, but because he had become a man of substance. True freedom is not in doing what you want, but in no longer needing what you don't. Daily Stoic reminder. So, what's the bigger game? It's not proving your worth. It's not winning her attention. It's becoming the kind of man who makes the world adjust to his standard. Not the other way around. That means you chase purpose, not people. You set boundaries, not expectations. You walk away not to punish, but to protect your peace. You give love, not to earn approval, but to express truth. You become so whole, she has no pieces left to play with. That's what makes the games stop. Not your words, but your energy. Not your anger, but your absence. Not your neediness, but your self-mastery. When a man learns to love his solitude, he becomes a threat to every game built on fear of abandonment. Stoic golden truth. What's one step you're taking right now to stop being emotionally manipulated and start mastering yourself? Let's talk in the comments. Someone out there needs your story. If you found value in this message, take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to Stoic Golden Tribe, where real men come to sharpen their minds, strengthen their purpose, and rise above modern noise. Turn on the bell icon so you never miss a truth that could change your life. And remember, a woman cannot play a man who knows how to walk away because he's too busy walking toward his destiny. This is Stoic Golden Tribe. Stand tall, stay sharp, walk with wisdom,